what's up? Welcome back to another video. Today I am gonna be doing a story time, as you can see from the title. Before we get into this video, I do want to ask you guys to please subscribe to my channel, give me a like, and turn on your post notifications for future videos. And yeah, I think with that we can go ahead and get into this video. So this happened to me, and a lot of you guys may know about this story because I did put it on my Snapchat. And yeah, a lot of you guys were like, oh my god, I cannot believe that happened to you. But alright, so for all those that didn't hear it, here it is. So basically, I got scheduled. Well, I was going to an office. If you don't know, I am pregnant. So I was going to an office by my house, by my apartment, and it was very, very close. It's like literally like 3 minutes away in the car. And it's like 2 lights away, so it was very convenient for us. And I really liked the doctor, and you know, everyone there at the office was very, very nice, and I just really loved everything about them. So you know, I had my first appointment, and the doctor was like, okay, we're gonna schedule you for I think, well, if you don't know, the first appointment, or the first prenatal appointment, is basically just to confirm your pregnancy. So they take like a blood pregnancy test, and then they just do like a pee. So they did that, and everything came out positive, and I already knew that, obviously, because I had already tested at home. So I go in, and the doctor calls me, and she's like, hey, I sent over a request or something like that, an order for an ultrasound, and it's gonna be here, this and that, you know. So she's like, just call and they're gonna give you your appointment. So that was one thing that I kind of was like, oh shit, well, I guess obviously she doesn't have the equipment there to do ultrasounds herself. So I was like, okay, it's fine. Like, in my head I was like, okay, I guess it's not that far from my house and I could still do it. Plus it was my first ultrasound, and I was eager to just see the fetus, you know, my baby, and we were excited. So the day came, and I remember like I scheduled the appointment for 6 a.m. because around that time, like when I scheduled it like 2 weeks prior to my actual appointment, and that was like the first appointment they had really early. And I scheduled it that early just because I didn't know if I was gonna start working and what my schedule was gonna be. And it just worked out with Sergio's schedule because he goes in before 8. So you know, I was like, okay, like that will work. You know, at 6 in the morning he's able to go with me, and then I'm able to come back, and if I did have to work that day, you know, I could still make it to work. So I was like, okay, I'll take the 6:30 a.m. appointment. So you know, I woke up really early to take a shower because I didn't know if it was gonna be like vaginal ultrasound. Usually when the baby is that small, they usually do like a vaginal ultrasound. So I was like, okay, I need to wake up, take a shower, and then like I didn't really like get ready that much, but I did kind of like, you know, I just made sure to be clean. So, and to like do my hair a little bit, and that's it. So you know, we are on our way to the ultrasound, and the receptionist lady is very nice. She was really nice. She was just like, okay, you know, she'll call you right out, whatever. So I'm like, okay, we're waiting, and it's me, Sergio, and Nathan, and we're waiting in the waiting room, and you know, the ultrasound tech comes out, and she's like, okay, we're ready for you, and she calls me. And right off the bat, like, she didn't let Sergio or Nathan go in, you know, which was something that I just felt like, how are you not gonna let like him in, you know, if he made the baby too? It's his baby, just like how it's my baby, you know, except that I'm carrying it. So you know, that kind of was like, all right, whatever. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry I didn't let him in, it's because he's too much of a distraction for you. And I'm just like, dude, like, how is he such a distraction for me if I see him every single day? Like, what do you think, we're gonna act like kids in here? Like, I don't know. But I was like, alright, whatever. Like, I was a little bummed already. So I lay down, and she puts on it's thickened water. That's what she said it was. And the stuff that they put on your belly. So she did a belly one. And she's asking me, she's like, how many weeks are you? And I'm like, oh, I think I was around like 5 or 6 weeks. And I'm like, oh, I think I'm like 6 weeks. And she's like, then why are you here? And I'm just like, I don't know, like, why am I here? Like, what do you mean? Was I 6 weeks, or was I I think I was 8 weeks. I don't exactly remember like how many weeks I was, but you know, she asked me, she's like, oh my god, what are you doing here? Like, that's too early anyways. And it was not too early because I had an ultrasound for him at 6 weeks. So to me, I was just like, what the hell? Like, it's not too early. I know it's not too early. I had one like, you know, earlier for him, you know, but I was just like, oh, I don't know, like, she just told me to come in for an ultrasound. She's like, well, I don't think we're gonna be able to see anything, but I'll try anyways. Like, she was already off the bat, like, she was being so negative, like, she hadn't even checked. She was already like saying that we weren't gonna see anything, that why am I there? So, you know, I just let it go, and I'm like, well, you know, I'm here, I need my ultrasound. So, you know, before I even lay down, she's like, I am gonna please ask you to silence your phone and, you know, whatever. So I was like, okay. So I, like, you know how the iPhones have like this thing where you just silence it, like you go like that and it just like says that the ringer is silent. So I did that. I didn't turn it off, and like she was doing the ultrasound, and she's like, and my phone, my alarm went off, and she's like, I thought I told you to turn it off. Like, dude, I felt like I was at school and like there was like a freaking teacher like regañándome. Like, I was so uncomfortable. And she's like, can you turn it off? And keep in mind, guys, when they do the ultrasound, they have to see like the lower part of your belly, because that's where the baby is. So, you know, my pants were like literally down, like my butt was showing and everything, you know. And she was like, can you like get it? And I was like, yeah. She was like, can you turn it off? And I was like, oh my god, all right. So I freaking have to stand up and literally with my ass showing and turn it off, like, because she fucking wanted me to. Like, who does that, right? And you know, I'm like, all right, well, I turned it off. Then she was doing the ultrasound, and as she was doing it, she was started complaining, and she's like, oh, it's because, like, she just was complaining. Like, she was, I don't know, she was having a bad day. I don't know what the hell her problem was, but maybe it was too early. But she started complaining, and she's like, all this, she's like, it's because the problem is that we can't see through air. You know, she started saying that. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, to me, air means like maybe I had gas or something, you know, because I'm lactose intolerant. So if I eat anything like cheese and things like that, I'll get gassy, you know. Puppy. So I'm like, okay, well, like, I was like, oh, maybe I have gas. And she like started like kind of telling me like, oh no, it's not gas, it's like a bowel. So I meant like poop, right? I know it's like TMI, but that's what she was telling me. Never, you guys, never in my life. I have always had like a problem with me, like with constipation and stuff. But this lady was like, I mean, like in the past, I had never had anyone tell me anything like that, you know. And even this past ultrasound that I barely had, no complaints at all from the doctor. Like, everything was, she did not, and nobody complained about that ever. And this girl's like, oh my god, this is why it's gonna take a little longer. Like, dude, what does it matter how long it takes? Like, I don't understand, you know. So she kept on telling me that. She's like, you should eat this and you should eat that so that, you know, it can go away. That worked for my daughter, you know. And I was like, okay, thank you, like, all right, thanks, you know. And I'm like, yeah, I try a lot of things, honestly, but it just doesn't seem to work. I mean, does she think that I don't try and I just like to, like, feel like that? So, you know, I started feeling, like, kind of angry. Like, I was already getting irritated. Like, dude, if you don't want to do this for me, then I don't know what to, like, what do I do, you know? Like, who do I go to? So I'm like, oh, so is this how it's gonna be? I'm like, are you not ever gonna let like my family in? Because, you know. And then after, she's like, well, I can let him in just really quick, just for the last part. And I'm like, oh, okay, like, all right. So she finally lets Sergio in, and Nathan, and she was very, very seca. Like, she was just very like, okay, here's a heartbeat. Did you listen to it? Okay, look at, this is a baby. Did you see it? And then just like, all right, took it off. And then like, okay, you guys can get out. You can get dressed, and then you can leave after that. Like, she was kind of like that, like being a bitch. So, you know, I had such a bad experience. I do not recommend for anyone to go there. It's the one on Horizon Ridge and Coronado Center, something like that. It's in the corner. Do not go there, guys, because it's horrible, like horrible service. Yeah, it's just very, very bad, and I hated it. So I ended up switching doctors, and this one that I switched to, she was just like a whole 360 that, you know, I should never feel like I'm bugging someone to do their job. And I felt like that's how the lady felt. Like, she seriously was like mad about like the fact that I was too early and the fact that I didn't poop before I went. So yeah, I mean, it was horrible. It was a bad experience, and I do not ever plan on going back. And I'm glad that I changed doctors. And I feel bad because the doctor's office that I was going to was actually, she was so nice. She was so nice. It's just, you know, the fact that she didn't have a machine, which I'm pretty sure they're really expensive. But yeah, you guys, so that was my story. That was my experience at the ultrasound place. And yeah, I mean, that's all I have for right now. I'll keep you guys updated for any other stories. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Don't forget to give me a like, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your post notifications for future videos. Thank you. Bye.